Hi everybody, this is Hot Fuss and I am Andy.
I'm Hannah.
And I'm Tony.
Welcome to our show. So today we're going to be talking about a couple of different things. The first thing is the whole Starbucks fiasco. I know that you guys have all heard of it. If you've been living under a rock, let's take a look at a couple of things. First is a 911 call. Let's take a listen to that.
Sorry, how may I help you? Hi, I have two gentlemen at my cafe that are refusing to make a purchase or leave. I'm at the Starbucks at 18th and Spruce. All right, please, I'll be on as soon as possible. Thank you. Bye.
There is a disturbance at the Starbucks. Group of males inside causes a disturbance. We got 9x3, 9x2, 9x23, and 2-4 location. They're requesting another unit along with a supervisor.
Me and 23 and 24 to headquarters. And 913 is going to be transporting. I-14. I got two males. Last three are going to be 107.
And of course, there were patrons at that Starbucks establishment, and one lady took an really amazing video and uploaded it to her Twitter that just got 11 million views. Let's take a look.
Don't get no fight with them. Don't get no fight with them. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah, this what did they get called for? Because there are two black guys sitting here meeting me? Yes, well, what did they do? What did they do? Someone tell me what they did.
They didn't do anything. I saw the entire thing.
They didn't.
What did they do?
Nothing. And the woman said it's for paying customers and after us to leave. They didn't do anything.
Okay, guys, so here's what Starbucks had to say about this incident.
The CEO of Starbucks, Kevin Johnson, released a statement this week regarding the incident. I'll say the circumstances surrounding the incident and the outcome at our store on Thursday were reprehensible, Johnson said in an exclusive interview with the ABC News Good Morning America today. They were wrong, and for that, I personally apologize to the gentleman that visited our store. The chairman of Starbucks also had something to say. There's no doubt in my mind that the reason the police were called was because they were African American, Howard Schultz, chairman of Starbucks, said on CBS Wednesday. And I'm embarrassed by that. I'm ashamed by that. That's not who Starbucks is. That's not who we've been. And that's not who we're going to be.
I mean, honestly, this is really, I'm just flabbergasted by the whole thing. How is this happening in 2018?
Well, I think that's the point, is that it happens every day, and
Right.
most people just don't see it happening every day, and thank God that woman was there with her phone and blasted it on her Twitter.
I know.
It's crazy because they're actually going to close I think it's 8,000 stores, 12,000 stores of Starbucks.
I think it was 8,000, yeah.
Or 8,000.
For one of the days.
For the afternoon, actually, to train on racial bias. It's
Good
important.
on them for doing that,
Yeah.
honestly.
Well,
I
what's
agree.
interesting about this scenario is you see, obviously, this is modern racism. I know the mayor of Philadelphia talked about it being what the look of modern racism is, just kind of having that bias and acting and behaving on it. But also, it's super historical because if you kind of look in history when all the slaves were emancipated, you all of a sudden had all of these jobless black people in the South. And so the start of the Jim Crow laws, one of the major first ones was arresting them for loitering. And so this is a really good documentary that I think everybody should see on Netflix called The 13th. And it talks about how in this country everybody's born free and equal except if you're in prison. And so it talks about the scheme of getting a lot of African Americans in our prison system, which, as you all know, is one of the biggest money-making systems in our country.
It's an industry.
In the world.
Absolutely.
So historically, loitering is one of those things that black people have been hassled with for many, 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 many years.
And that's so ridiculous because it's how many times as a student, even a college student, have you gone to a Starbucks or you know,
I've done
any
it.
coffee
Yeah.
shop or fast food chain to like go use their Wi-Fi and study or work on a project, something like that is
Right.
not uncommon at all.
But that's the point of Starbucks. That even says it on
I
their
know.
page. On their page, they encourage community. They encourage people sitting there and congregating.
right.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's kind of crazy because, well, the fact that they're closing on the afternoon for the afternoon, they're going to lose a lot of money. They're losing millions of dollars.
That says a lot about
says a
them
lot.
as a company. It
There
does.
was an employee who actually tweeted that one of their customers said, "Ugh, I can't believe you guys are closing. How am I going to get my coffee?" And so the employee was actually urging Starbucks to educate their customers.
Yeah.
So wow,
Yeah.
on racial bias.
Well, the funny
It's
thing
funny,
about
I
this,
think.
beyond this situation, is that the media attention that Starbucks is getting, not just from like media, they obviously people talk about it, you know, leftist media versus rightist media,
Right.
and one of the things I had to holding in my stomach watching Fox News, but I was watching Fox News for like a brief moment on this subject, and
Bless your
basically,
soul.
I know I was trying to see where their brain was or whatever, and basically they were talking about how Starbucks, because it's such a left liberal kind of company and corporation, that they're just overkilling on this. That the woman made a small mistake that, you know, she really just needed educating on. And that basically Starbucks is just overkilling. The whole training people on their unconscious bias is just ridiculous.
Well, you know what? Sometimes you need to overkill in order to get a point across. And, you know, that Starbucks manager no longer works there for a good reason, if you ask me. And there's other people that were there that actually stood up and said, and this wasn't actually on the video, but they went outside and were like, these people did nothing wrong. They were just there being black.
Even the guy in the video was like, what are you guys doing?
Right.
They didn't even do anything.
So the backstory is these two gentlemen were were meeting that guy in the video who was talking to the police.
Yeah. Right.
They were meeting him. They were, it was a real estate meeting that they were having. It was a business meeting, and they were 10 minutes early. And Trevor Noah was so funny. He was like, this is why black people need to be late all the time. Because if you're early, they're going to arrest you for loitering. But they were like 10 minutes early, and 2 minutes into them being there, not even 2 minutes into them being there, the police were called. But the manager had asked them beforehand, did you guys want any beverages, water or anything? And they said, no thanks, we're just waiting. And then immediately she calls the police. So it's just a fascinating how people have the perspective on it, and how obviously her gut instinct just told her just
to call 911
Yeah.
because somebody is sitting in a chair.
Well, they
or
were
not
well
ordering a
because
drink.
they were well. The 911 call said they were there not ordering anything, and they refused to leave.
Right.
Which is like, I've gone to Starbucks a million times, and I've just sat there for a while, used my computer, not ordered anything,
Right.
and I've never been asked to leave. And
Yeah.
I'm not white, but
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
I'm also not black, so I
Right.
understand that there's
Right.
a difference there.
Well, it's funny because there's a timetable. They arrived at like 4:35. The 911 call was at 4:37. So
Right.
immediately he asked, one of them asked, I believe it was Dante, asked to use the bathroom. She said no. They said no, it's for paying customers only, unless you guys want something. And then he said no thanks. He just sat down. She approached them. Do you guys want anything? She tried it again, and they said no, we're just waiting. Immediately she calls the police. So it was not even enough time to call it loitering, if you ask me. I mean, obviously it was just she had that preconceived notion right away.
Yeah, and this
that is not a little incident at all.
No.
Like, when you escalate something to calling 911, that is not something small. You cannot diminish that.
Yeah.
Fox News cannot diminish that and say it was a small thing. They're making such a big fuss. Calling 911 is a big deal. I'm sorry, but it is.
It's dehumanizing to be handcuffed specifically by bicycle police.
Honestly,
it's horrifying.
It's embarrassing. It's mortifying.
So of course it's mortifying, especially when you do nothing wrong. But it was just blatantly obvious. But what do you guys think about the police? Did they do their job? Were they supposed to do that? Arrest them? Or
I think they should have evaluated the situation clearly and understood what was going on before putting handcuffs on anybody for just sitting in a chair in a store. Like, I just...
You're not, as a cop, you're not supposed to just get there and automatically just arrest somebody because
Maybe
of
they're
that.
just arrest happy because they're on bicycles. So...
I mean, I don't know what it is, but it's they should have done, I think they should have done a better job. There was a YouTuber who had said that, you know, there was trespassing going on, and he's a huge YouTuber. I'm not going to mention his name, but it was one of those things where they're just people are trying to justify this in different ways, and you can't justify it. I mean, especially because there was witnesses there talking about this. I do want to say this, Rashawn Nelson and Dante Robinson, Hot Fuss is with you all the way.
Yes.
So keep fighting because we got you.
So Hot Fuss definitely promotes a weekly artist, and we have so many amazing artists in our community that we definitely want to promote. If you are an artist, whatever you do, mixed media, painting, musician, dancing, anything that you do, please get at us, and we really want to help support and promote you.
So the work of art you're seeing right now is called Troy by Kevissimo Raleigh. Kevin is an award-winning mixed media artist based in LA, flourishing in the scene for the last 20 years. His work debuted at the Pasadena Museum of California Art and has since then been featured in magazines such as Elle, Mirabella, W, Brides, and Detour. You can check out more of his amazing work at Kevissimo.com. We've also included his contact information in the description below.
So I know this was just a tidbit of what Kevin does. If you want to check out more of his stuff, I think you should go online to Kevissimo.com. We have the link down in the description. Please check it out. You can definitely buy his prints. I don't know if he's selling originals or not, but definitely check him out. He was also, his work was featured in a film that was released last year, right? What was it called?
Magnum Opus.
Mm-hmm. Magnum Opus. So if you haven't seen that, if you've heard about it, you want to check it out, definitely check it out because his work is actually featured in the film and it's beautiful.
So our hearts are breaking right now because we recently heard that Avicii passed on, an amazing DJ in the EDM scene. He really, I'm a DJ personally, and I've played so many of his songs in my sets, and it was just so heartbreaking to hear. We don't know the details yet. We're not sure how this happened. He was only 28, so super young. Such a great guy, and I just want to give a shout out to him wherever he is. I hope he's playing some awesome music and dancing his little heart out.
Yeah, he definitely joins the ranks of all of these artists that have passed away at 28. Amy Winehouse, Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain, all these people.
Why is 28
I don't know.
the
I don't
number?
know.
That's
I don't know.
It's like a
but
curse.
Who knows? But at the end of it all, tremendous music and tremendous legacy.
Hot Fuss is sponsored by Dolface by Carabella Riazzo. You can check out more of her products at dolface.com or by clicking on the link below.
So thank you so much for watching our episode today.
And if you liked what you saw, hit the subscribe button below and make sure you're following us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Hot Fuss Show.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Peace out.